Hello, Grizzly Central. Mr. Goldman here from the counseling department. First and foremost, hope you are staying safe and doing well at home. We know this time of year in the spring, a lot of students start out visiting college campuses, trying to determine their long-term goals after they graduate high school. And during COVID, we can't go on campus, so we wanted to share some information with you in another way. So we're going to be doing a school spotlight series where we highlight different colleges that some of our staff members from Grays Lake Central have attended and some of their memories. So today we're going to start with the University of Iowa, and we have some special guests here with me that they'll introduce themselves in a minute. University of Iowa is located in Iowa City, which is only about 4 hours from Central. They currently have around 23,500 undergraduate students, and some of the most popular majors include business, parks and recreation, social sciences, engineering. They have a great journalism program, and the health professions. They're specifically very strong in nursing and also speech pathology. So with that being said, we're going to allow our guests to introduce themselves, and we're going to start off with Mr. Farrell. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, Kevin, and then what you majored in at Iowa and any organizations you belong to.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Mr. Farrell. I teach English. I also work with the AIM program. I graduated from Iowa in 2009. And while I was there, I covered a few majors. I started off as a journalism major, then switched to English and education. So kind of experienced a little bit of the journalism school and then switched gears a little bit. While at Iowa, I worked in the Office of Admissions for all 4 years. I was a campus tour guide for all 4 years and worked for a group called STAR, which was Students to Assist Recruitment, which was a group of volunteers who kind of helped with big visit days for when high school seniors and juniors came to visit campus.
Awesome, thanks for sharing. Also in the English department is Mr. Palmer, who's sporting his Iowa shirt there.
Hi, I am Mr. Palmer. I graduated from the University of Iowa in 2001. I was not nearly as involved as Mr. Farrell, but I was involved in a fraternity, and through that organization did various philanthropic endeavors over my couple of years there. I majored in English, psychology, and a minor in world history.
Very cool. So another face that you may recognize from either visiting Grays Lake Central or around town is Annabelle Vinson, who works for the University of Iowa. So we wanted to hear a little bit of her perspective as well.
Yeah, so like Mr. Goldman said, my name is Annabelle Vinson. I am the Chicago regional rep for the University of Iowa, but I'm specifically assigned to Grays Lake Central, and I live in Grays Lake. So I have a little who's in kindergarten, and eventually she'll work her way up to become a RAM. So you guys have a special place in my heart. But I also attended the University of Iowa. I grew up in Mundelein, so just down the road from you all. And I majored in communication studies. And during my time at the University of Iowa, I was involved in the Greek system as well, and served as an orientation advisor for 3 years.
And little known fact, Annabelle was my orientation advisor, and then we worked together in admissions.
Very cool. All the worlds kind of come together in Grays Lake. So thinking back, and you know, as high school students do now, there's so many options and so many choices for colleges, in-state, out-of-state, public school, private schools. To your experience, we'll start again with Mr. Farrell. What made you choose the University of Iowa?
You know, it's interesting because Iowa was actually never even on my list of schools when I first started looking at schools. For whatever reason, I was convinced that Iowa was so far away, and why would I ever want to go so far away? And then my parents were like, why don't we go give it a try? And I was like, wait a second, it's only 3 hours? That's not bad at all. So it was the last school that I visited, and there was no reason to look anywhere else after that. You know, it's the perfect mix of big school with a lot to do downtown, but also still feels really small, and just the energy of like a Big Ten campus was something that I knew that I wanted. So I looked at a lot of the Big Ten schools, and they all just felt so huge. And even though I was really no different than a lot of those other schools, it just felt a lot smaller, felt a lot more like home.
Awesome. That's great. When you looked, we always talk about finding the fit, and it sounds like that campus visit really sold it for you. Mr. Palmer, I know you, I believe, came from a smaller town. How did Iowa become on your radar?
Like Mr. Farrell, I was not looking at the University of Iowa whatsoever. I went and visited a friend, and the key ingredient that Mr. Farrell said that I will echo 100% is it felt like home. I didn't need to look at any other schools. In fact, once I went and visited the University of Iowa, I knew that's where I wanted to be, that's where I wanted to go. And again, the idea of a massive Big Ten school that feels small, compact, homely, inviting, the energy, it was just a place that I can look back so fondly. My friends and I look back so fondly. These are the people that they come from the Chicagoland area. I do not, but there's a group of us that became very tight-knit friends, and they're my best friends to this day. And I think that's the other thing, is that you very much find your kind of people, because Iowa, you can be or do anything you want. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is you don't have to be involved in a Greek system. You don't have to be involved in a certain facet of the community in order to find your right fit. And it just so happened that that what I wanted to study, or what I did study, both things, were there, and they were very good at them. And it was just this wonderful place where you just go and you're home.
Yeah, one of my closest friends attended Iowa, and I had a chance to visit him both during college and then go back with him to visit the campus after. And it's such a just comfortable environment, and it is a decently large school, but it has that just home feel to it. So it really does sell itself when you go on campus. Annabelle, coming from the northwest suburbs as well, from Mundelein to Iowa City, what was that journey like for you?
Well, the funny thing is like Mr. Palmer and Mr. Farrell, is that I was not looking at Iowa as one of my initial schools. I was looking at all small schools, and a friend had encouraged me to look at Iowa. And because it was so close to home, within a 3.5 to 4 hour driving distance, we decided to do a campus visit. And then after that campus visit is really what sold me. I think there's a warmth to Iowa City, the people that live there, but then also the students too. So as I was walking around with my family, like somebody just randomly stopped us and asked us if we need help. And that really just set the tone for the visit. But as you walk throughout Iowa City, I mean, everything is within walking distance. There's so much pride as far as like Hawkeye spirit is concerned. And so that is like what really sold me. It was great that they had my major, and it was great that it was close to home, but it was like that warmth that you felt from the people that lived there that sold me.
Awesome. So clearly it sounds like you all made a great decision, and looking back on your experiences on campus, trying to remember some fond memories, favorite memories. Mr. Farrell, it looks like Kinnick Stadium there in the background. Is that one of your favorite memories of being on campus?
Oh yeah, and I'm convinced that my dad and my whole family went to the University of Wisconsin. So every year that was the big rivalry game for our family. And either they would all come to me, or I would go up and visit them in Madison. And my dad and I still go to those games every year. And I think just the coming together in that stadium every week was just so much fun. And it's something that like everyone looked forward to all week. I remember the Penn State game when college game day was there, and just like the hordes of people like camping out at Hubbard Park, getting ready for that. And just that kind of camaraderie that you felt with the people around you, I think kind of echoes a lot of what Mr. Palmer and Annabelle were saying about the warmth that everyone has there.
Yeah, I know within the last few years, the recent tradition of waving to the children in the hospital near the stadium after the first quarter is my favorite tradition in all of college sports. I was able to attend a game back in November of 2018, and that was the most powerful part of the whole game. So it was just awesome. Chris, how about you? Any fond memories?
So many. Unfortunately, we were not very good at football when I was there. We won a grand total of 7 games. So I'm glad that Mr. Farrell was able to enjoy a game day. But, I think the beautiful thing was that, as a kid growing up in Illinois, I just assumed that when your team wasn't good, that people didn't care. And, man, those diehard people from Iowa, when those teams were bad, they were still in those seats every single game, holding out their keys for the opening kickoff, which I thought was one of the most novel and cool traditions that I'd ever seen, because I'd never seen that before. And, just things like homecoming in a Big Ten school, when you all pack into the IMU on a Thursday night, Halloween, just the idea of like all these little events that aren't a really big deal once you get older, that there's such a big deal, and there are these fun coming together events for an entire campus, for an entire group of people. Yeah, and like I said, it's just meeting my best friends in the world. and sharing all of those memories all the time over text message. You know, even throughout various different professions, we have this experience that's joined and continues to keep us joined no matter where life has taken us. And I think that's something that you don't really get other than college. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how it feels to me.
Yeah, Miss Remedi, who's our transition specialist at Central, grew up in Iowa. She wanted to join us today, but had another meeting, and she just wanted to pass along that growing up in Iowa, there's such a passion for the school. She said the passion runs as deep as the Mississippi River. Just everyone loves the college and is so connected to it. Annabelle, how about you? Any fond memories that you can recall?
I would say the last few years when I was an orientation advisor were really the years that shaped me and helped me grow as a professional, but then personally too. And the great thing about, my experience at Iowa is that everybody wants to see you succeed. And so just at first, like when I got to Iowa, I was very much like shy, didn't like to talk in front of crowds. Like it just made me super nervous. And by the end of my time at Iowa and starting into my professional career, I felt more comfortable speaking to groups of like 800 people. So that is a huge change. And that's something that's supported at Iowa. And I think there's a comfort in that. You're not competing, it's very collaborative. So just all my experiences where I'm working together within an office or with other students have always stuck out in my mind, whether that was in the classroom or whether it was like through an internship through orientation as like a part-time job.
I think to kind of piggyback off of what both of them said, not only are you making your lifelong friends your age, but I also found the number of, for lack of a better word, adults that I had a chance to work with, whether as professors or admissions counselors or whoever I came across that, I mean, I now graduated 10 years ago and I'm still keeping in touch with those people and still kind of getting support from them and knowing that not only are you making lifelong friends, but you're also establishing a support network of adults who are going to kind of always be there for you and always look out for you and always support you in the things that you do. And I don't know that I see that in some of my friends who went to other schools, that they necessarily have that same kind of community support. So again, it's a big campus and a big university, but you very much get that kind of like individual treatment from the people that you meet there.
Awesome. Well, it's great to hear your perspectives, and to kind of summarize everything. We know that many of us before a big test would do everything we could to squeeze in as much study time as possible to try to remember all those facts. So as we are running out of time, we have a little session called Cram Session here, where I'm going to fire some quick questions at you, kind of go round robin and see what you can tell us about Iowa. So Mr. Farrell, what do you crave more, pizza at the Airliner or a pie shake from the Hamburg Inn?
Oh, 100% Airliner pizza. That was every Sunday night dinner for 4 years.
Mr. Palmer, better famous alumni roommate, Willy Wonka or Michael Kelso, played by Ashton Kutcher on that 70s show?
Willy Wonka, hands down.
Annabelle, over or under 3 naps per week while you were in college?
Oh, over.
Way over.
Okay. Kevin, would you rather watch the Hawkeyes win the college football playoff or the Bears take the Super Bowl title?
Hands down, Hawkeyes.
Excellent. Mr. Palmer, best concert you saw while attending Iowa?
Oh, man. The Foo Fighters opened up for Red Hot Chili Peppers in Carver Hawkeye.
Wow, that's quite the show.
That was an amazing show.
Annabelle, a unique or favorite class you took?
Oh, I took a lot of dance classes, and those tend to be my favorite. So like hip hop, but then also related to hip hop, I did a cultural, like a history of hip hop, like rap. So that was really cool to take.
Cool.
But that was a comp studies class.
Mr. Farrell, what was your go-to snack while you were up studying late?
In the dorms, it was definitely Easy Mac, for sure. I hit Easy Mac hard.
Mr. Palmer, what was the main reason for going home on the weekend? You were tired of dorm food or you needed to do laundry?
I didn't go home.
Well said. And then finally, Miss Vincent, in the world of dorms, are shower shoes essential footwear or do they cramp your style?
Essential. I think anywhere, yeah, essential.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. It was a lot of fun to hear about Iowa and your experiences there. We will definitely share these with our Grays Lake Central students and community. And Ms. Vincent, I know we'll be hopefully seeing you in the fall for more information about Iowa and getting ready to work with the class of 2021. Thanks, guys.